It's a beautiful spring day in Ithaca, New York. Couldn't ask for a more perfect setting to kickstart Ivy League men's lacrosse conference play. Today features a second straight top 10 matchup at Sholkoff Field as the number 2 Princeton Tigers start their defense of the Ivy League crown against the number 6 Cornell Big Red. Hello everyone, and thank you for spending some of your Saturday afternoon with us. Christian DeGuzman here alongside Tom LaFalce. This game was an explosive and topsy-turvy matchup last season. A 7-goal run from Cornell was answered by a 10-goal run from Princeton. In the end, Matt Dooley's dramatic game-winning goal with 1 second left gave the Big Red a stunning victory.
And Cornell's won 4 games in a row in this matchup, and so this is a really important Ivy League game. They were picked in the preseason poll to be 1 and 2. These almost always are 1-goal games. I think we're going to have a great lacrosse game here today between 2 really strong teams.
And you got 2 of the best attackmen in the nation who are on display today. We start with C.J. Kurtz, number 15 in white. Only 3 goals away from becoming Cornell's all-time leading goal scorer. But the task is not easy for him today, going up against Colin Molshine for Princeton on defense.
Yeah, and he was held in check last year's game. C.J. Kurtz only had a single goal in the Cornell win at Princeton, so they're going to need to get a little more production out of him today.
On the opposite side, Jason Singer for Cornell will have his hands full today going up against Coulter McAsee, number 91 in the black. He only sits behind Kurtz, running active leaders in goals scored at the Division I level. And McAsee will look to repeat his 4-goal performance last week against Rutgers.
McAsee's a dynamic player, and you're probably going to see 2 of the top attack units in college lacrosse today. Lots of firepower, 2 high-scoring teams. And the thing that's really interesting about the 2 attackmen, they're both left-handed.
At the face-off dot, Jack Cascaden has been excellent with the best Ivy League face-off percentage at 56.6%. On the other side, Andrew McMeekin looking to put last week's performance behind him after going 0 for 8 at the dot. Let's go. Number 2 versus number 6. The only top 10 matchup of the weekend, and it's a short stick Cooper Mueller who will pick up the ground ball and give Princeton the first possession.
Cascaden came out with it and just was unable to escape. He got stuck in there, and good play by Princeton to be able to create the turnover and get this first offensive opportunity of the game.
And so much was made of the youth that comes along with this Princeton attack last year. Colin Burns, Nate Kabiri, now all sophomores after great freshman years last year, to go against the experience with Palumbo, McAsee, Cameron, and Dunphy. Here is Coulter McAsee. First shot redirected on the way in.
And these are 2 experienced teams, almost bringing back all of their top players from last year. But the one place where we're seeing different starters than a year ago is in the goal. Neither goaltender played in this game last year.
Dunphy and Wyatt Nuss will make his first stop against the Princeton Tigers, Last year was Matt Tully making his first ever start in a Cornell Big Red uniform. This was coming off Wyatt Nuss last year getting pulled against Penn State. But this year, Wyatt Nuss has really held strong in that goal with an excellent 58.6 save percentage so far this season.
You like to see Nuss get that first save under his belt.
And now Cornell's got to try and figure out the mystery that is Ryan Croddick, who no one has been able to solve this year. Last week, 24 saves against Rutgers and an 11-5 win for Princeton, the reigning Ivy League Defensive Player of the Week.
Willem Firth drawing the long pole here.
That's what you expect here, number 51 in white to draw the long pole. So the short sticks will be on Kelleher and on Dalton. Kurtz trying to feed on the crease and couldn't connect with Goldstein.
He had Goldstein on the sneak and just unable to convert the pass.
And not getting a shot on Croddick, allowing him to settle into the Sholkoff Field turf even more. Last year, Michael John Vaccaro in the cage for Princeton. John Vaccaro now doing his grad year with the UNC Tar Heels.
With former Cornell grad Spencer Wertheim as well. I guess he's not a former grad. He is a grad.
He is a grad, yes, indeed.
Former player.
Princeton gets the clean clear, and that's going to be important for Princeton after failing 7 clears last week against Rutgers. Tucker Wade, bouncer past Nuss. 4 goals for Tucker Wade last year against Cornell. He starts his account well today.
Yeah, and just, has all the goal to shoot at here after a little sort of stutter step. Just comes with his right hand and just lets it go. Bouncer gets past Wyatt Nuss.
Good start for Princeton. Wade taking advantage of getting the matchup against Hugh Kelleher, who was stuck out on defense. Wade, another one of those young players on this Princeton team, a freshman last year, who played major minutes for the Tigers in their Ivy League championship run.
Yeah, I mean, you see that across the board on this team at Princeton. Their class was the top-ranked recruiting class. They're current sophomores, and a lot of them got experience last year.
Skadden wins the next face-off, so Cornell goes back on the attack. And taking the ball is going to be especially crucial for Cornell going up against a Princeton team that ranks 3rd in the nation in the least amount of turnovers per game.
And you can see there, Cornell's able to get the clear, but it's to a place on the field where Princeton's trying to get that matchup of a pole guarding a pole. Good job and good patience there to get the clear as Brendan Staub just gets it over.
Ryan Sheehan was left all alone in the middle. How much did Ryan Sheehan need that goal? His first of the season.
Yeah, and he's playing now with a second group, and you see this little look inside. A good assist by Ryan Waldman to find him on just a little curl coming to the ball. And again, against a goalie who's saving a high percentage, you want to try and get assisted goals. You want to not let him just stand there and track the shooter the whole way. That ball movement, getting it inside, and that's a real hallmark of this Cornell team is the assisted goal.
2 key points that Connor Busek made this week when we talked to him earlier this week. Not making it easy for Croddick to settle in goal, and also to have Ryan Sheehan on that second midfield line provide senior leadership and knowing when to take the shots and how the game is flowing, especially on that second midfield line. So important when you have young players like Ryan Waldman.
We're going to see a lot of ground ball battles like that, just no clean pickups, and finally they got up along that sideline, and Cornell just smartly let it go off the Princeton defender.
I mean, last year for Princeton, faceoff was such a huge advantage with McMeekin at the dot. But this year, he's really struggled, just above 30% this year. Willem Firth momentarily had the short stick on him. Same with Andrew Dalton. The pole Cooper Kistler right now is on Kelleher. Kelleher gets a step on him.
Thought about it. Coming down that alley, that's where he loves to dodge.
Goldstein against Jack Stahl.
He had his coming out party last year in this game against Princeton.
His first ever game in a Cornell Big Red uniform, 3 goals and 2 assists last year. CJ Kurst feeding Goldstein. The skip pass to the back post.
And that's the second time you can see the respect that Kurst garners from the Princeton defense, because he's 2 times when he's had the ball that he's been able to find a sneaking Ryan Goldstein. That first time it was on the same side of the field. This time it was on the back pipe with the sneak and able to convert with his right hand there. Good look there by Kurst.
And Goldstein lost Stahl there as Stahl was looking to perhaps help Molshine and double on Kurst. And that's what you get when you have such a dangerous player like CJ Kurst, who has so many accolades under his belt.
Well, and I think if you can get assists early in a game like this, when you get the team starting to come towards you, they might get a little hesitant after that, and maybe then that gives you an opportunity. And Cornell,
and how about
get it on the jump?
Yeah, Michael Melkonian coming in to relieve Cascadin and forces McMeekin to jump. So McMeekin won't be able to take the new face-off because of the new face-off rules this year.
And I think if you're Cornell coming off of last week's heartbreaking Penn State.
Sheehan turns the ball over on a pass intended for Goldstein. But like you said, heartbreaking loss for Cornell last week, as the ride will force almost
no, it's
a
off
failed
Cornell.
clear. Yeah.
It's off Cornell. Still 8 to clear.
7 failed clears for the Tigers last
Princeton
week.
was offsides.
And it will be a failed clear. This is much needed for a Cornell team who, like you said last week, a heartbreaking loss to Penn State, down up by 4 goals in the final 2 minutes and 30 seconds of that game.
Well, what I was going to say before Cornell had that turnover was that, this is the kind of start you want to get. You gave up the first goal, but you get 2. You get your second midfield out here now, and you just try and, get your offense going, because it never really seemed in sync last week.
Michael Long and Croddick rose to met the challenge. Tigers this time.
Craddock's got 2 20-save games already in this season.
24 saves last week against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
And coming in to replace Gian Ficarro, who was the goaltender for Princeton for a long time.
Peter Uolnano. Lost Bazzi and a low save from Nust. Karam's away.
They didn't give him an on goal, so no shot clock reset there.
Must have just bounced in front of Nust. Kibiri feeds past X. Here's Mackesy against Jason Singer. Carson Kramer. $20 on the shot clock. Guano can't find a way past Bazzi. Wade. Another goal for Tucker Wade.
As the shot clock expires. And he just was a Cornell killer last year, and there he, after some ball movement, it didn't seem like they were going to be able to get a shot off. And this time, the first one he came to the middle. This time he comes more down the side with that left hand. Beats Wyatt Nuss down low. His father was a All-American, played at North Carolina, played for Team USA. Believe he wore the same number 19, if I'm remembering correctly. Several Wades played at North Carolina.
Wade, no stranger to some good lacrosse accolades himself. Here's Jack Cascadden, wing a face-off cleanly, feeding Kirst!
And that is the element that Jack Cascadden has brought to this team that really Cornell lacked last year. They did well in the face-off game throughout the year, but here you go, right down the center, and they have to respect the fact that he's willing to shoot the ball, and he finds Kirst down low.
It's going to be an explosive matchup all day long. CJ Kirst, 2 goals away from being Cornell's all-time leading goal scorer, and the Big Red lead 3-2 early on here at Sholkoff Field.
At Regeneron, our homegrown technologies and novel scientific approaches focus on serious diseases. And our medicines aim to change lives as we relentlessly pursue more. We know that even the tiniest spark of an idea has the potential for more. We move science to medicine because our world is meant for more.
This one for the Ivy Tournament Championship. Roots of contact. Got it! Rose for 3. In there! 1-point game. Big time break. Back to the NCAA tournament. Dancing yet again. Ivy Madness champions.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed at Ticketsmarter.com.
Already CJ Kirst with a goal today, has 6 Tewaaraton Award watch list players feature in today's top 10 matchup between Princeton and Cornell. Michael Long, CJ Kirst, and Hugh Kelleher for Cornell, Chad Palumbo, Colin Wolshine, and Coulter Mackesy for Princeton. Just talent all over the field. What do you expect from a number 2 versus number 6 matchup? How about Matt Dooley with a hard stick check on Zach Friedman?
There's going to be every ground ball in this game, especially off the face-off game, is going to be contested. And Cornell going to have another opportunity here in a settled 6-on-6.
And every turnover forced by Cornell, so precious with a Princeton team that takes such good care of the ball.
And now Kelleher's drawn the long pole.
Dalton fed Kirst inside.
A little different matchup here.
Kirst has the long pole Friedman on him. Goldstein doesn't go back to Firth. Kelleher in the alley once again. Underhand goes low to high and misses the cage.
Now they're switching their matchups back. Molshine was actually on Dalton there for a little bit.
28 seconds to shoot. Here's Michael Long initiating. Going up against Michael Bath. Long got around, and Michael Long, a solo effort.
He just ran past Michael Bath. It didn't seem like it was the pick. We'll see it on the replay here. Did the pick really cause that? Yeah, it did, because of the way the defender, the short stick hopped out and then unable to recover there. He showed and threw the check, but that created the space that we were able to get Michael Long just go strong with his left hand. It's just so interesting to see. We saw it a little bit last week about how Long, people seem to be letting him go to his left hand, right? And trailing even more to his left hand. And I think of him as very much a two-handed player. So I'm surprised to see them do that there.
McMeekin wants to take a shot. He misses the cage.
And I think if you're Cornell, you let McMeekin take that shot.
McMeekin with 8 career goals, so definitely not a slouch when it comes to the goal scoring department.
It had to be at least 15 yards away from the cage, though.
First midfield out for the Tigers. Dunphy, Palumbo, and Cameron. Mackesy had the short stick Lamb on him for a second.
They've got the matchup corrected now. Singer got back over.
Cameron against box. Palumbo facing the pole of Walker Schwartz. Chad Palumbo missed the cage wide left. Might have hit it actually as well. Backup will go
Good
to
hustle
Cornell.
Play on the run out there by Cornell. Defensively so far, we've seen Cornell show the slide, but haven't really brought it. They're showing it, and then Princeton's moving the ball on. The slide isn't really coming all the way. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to decide to go that way.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Connor Busek said before the game that this is a Princeton team that
Princeton
also
is offsides.
Did the flag fly? Not quite. Not sure what the call is, and they're going to call an off-ball. Are they going to call a push against Cornell?
It went out of bounds. It was a pass that went poor pass that went out of bounds. When, I don't know, I didn't catch the number on the Dodger, but I think it was Lamb maybe, that he knocked the Princeton attackman over the midfield line. They were offsides, and the referee didn't call it. You could see Connor Busek was right out on the field in the official's ear.
Our officials today, Rob Gross, Nicholas Schmidt, and Jeffrey Ryan. Going back to my point about Busek and the defense, saying that Princeton is going to play a defense where they leave their defenders on an island. And a free shot here. Wade was looking for his third goal, and another backup one by Cornell, this time Matt Dooley.
Yeah, Wade is not afraid to shoot the ball, is he? Especially against Cornell, it seems. And then Cornell 2 runouts in a row, they're winning.
Both teams with a failed cleared so far today.
You can see Cornell is having their their midfielder guarded by an attackman who can't come over the midfield line. We had a chance to talk to Connor Busek a little bit about teams are spending more and more time on their rides and clears, right? Because of that 20 seconds to get the ball over midfield, there's some opportunities there. People are spending more time on it, and the clears and the rides are just getting more complicated.
Especially against a Princeton team that failed 7 clears last week against Rutgers.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game, that really, statistically, that's a surprising win for Princeton to get based on the stats, but it really was a pretty comfortable win.
Long was inverting against the short stick. 20 seconds to shoot. The short stick is still on Michael Long. Same on Goldstein. And Ryan Croddick bails out the Tigers. You had short sticks on 2 attackers for the Tigers.
I think Goldstein's got to try and get one more step there. Just didn't have a great angle. Craddock just stayed nice and big on his pipe. interesting. He's one of these goalies that plays with a pretty short stick.
Clearly works out for him. Again, 24 saves last week against Rutgers, 2 today.
Well, he's big. He's 6'3". I mean, so he covers a lot of the goal with his body.
Burns feeding inside, couldn't connect with Palumbo. Chad Palumbo crunched inside 4 Cornell jerseys. Mackesy trying to provide support. Anthony Bartolotto escapes the jam. Kabiri hot on his horse, trying to trail check Bartolotto. Doesn't do so. And Brendan Staub, again, across the halfway line. Brendan Staub missed the cage.
You could see he had that sucker loaded and ready to go the second it was in his stick. And, again, from a distance like that, straight in front of the cage with that long pole, it's just, it's one of those things that's changed in lacrosse. You used to never have your long pole shoot. And now, you can tell it's just difficult for the goalie to pick up. And I think that's why you're seeing more and more pole goals.
Staub's no stranger to scoring goals. How about Andrew Dalton? Can't quite handle the ball on the crease.
That's a tough pass when it's so flat like that, trying to get it through 2 defenders. It was a good play. I thought he was going to be able to hold on to it, but just not able to sort of complete the catch. He had it and lost it.
Jackson Green, the Princeton football player, takes the ball across the halfway line. Number 4 in black. We talked about this last week, how it felt like there was a tentative start to the Cornell-Princeton game, the Cornell-Penn State game. A lot of turnovers between both of those teams. Here, the pace is definitely not slowing down. That's what you get with Ivy League play. Bonanno backs off.
Good communication by Cornell getting back to the matchups they wanted.
Another shot from the midfield. That was Guano. And it was another low stop from Wyatt Nust. Nust already up to 4 saves.
Cornell can almost hold for the last shot. It's about a 15-second differential.
And you see C.J. Kirst directing traffic like he always does. The second midfield line will come on. And a lazy pass, almost a turnover. Waldman prevents the over and back.
That's about the 3rd one, and he may have actually been on the chalk. Or paint, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
It's really paint now. Used to be chalk. Again, I'm showing my age.
I don't think you can put chalk on this pristine Chillicothe field turf. Long, another screen for Michael Long. Feeds all the way up top for Ryan Waldman, and Croddick had it all the way. Kirst doing what he does best, a hard ride. And forces a turnover on the hard ride. 30 seconds left in the quarter. C.J. Kirst will keep the second midfield line on.
And now they'll hold for this. I'm sure of it.
Kirst telling Goldstein to settle down.
We get Firth with a short stick as he's coming out of the substitution box.
Here is Willem Firth. Willem Firth trying to do it all himself. Willem Firth did get it past Croddick. Something about that 51 jersey for Cornell produces special moments and special players.
Well, and it was because of that turnover. Firth came on. Cornell very quickly got the long pole on the field. So when he ran off, Firth comes on, but he gets picked up by a short stick, which was Mueller, and he's able to just sort of work his way. He got himself into a good position. Unfortunately, I thought he was going to run out of time, but able to get all the way around to his left hand on the strong side, throw the quick little stick fake. And with 6 seconds left in the quarter, it'll have to be a quick win and take it for either team here.
3-goal run for the Big Red, capped off by Willem Firth. Melkonian trying to move quick. Can Cornell get something on cage before the quarter ends? Not quite, as the pass to Goldstein is off target. But a frantic pace to this game sees a Cornell 5-2 lead after the first 15 minutes of play. What more could you want to start off Ivy League play in men's lacrosse? The number 2 Princeton Tigers are down 5-2 to the number 6 Cornell Big Red.
These Bulldogs are the top dogs. Aubrey one for the Ivy Tournament Championship. Fourth ring. Through some contact, count it. Rose for three. In there. 1 point game, big time three. Back to the NCAA tournament, dancing yet again. Ivy Madness champions.
We see the promises you make. Doing more than your fair share. Working twice as hard. Saving lives, changing lives. And your life's work deserves nothing less than a lifetime guarantee. You made a promise. So did we. TIAA's promise of a guaranteed retirement paycheck for life is a promise that pays off.
Feels like a different Ivy League when you have Cornell and Princeton starting off the year instead of ending off the year. I was talking to Coach Busick earlier this week about that and said, yeah, it's a challenge. You have to adjust to it. You're so used to Cornell playing Yale to open off the Ivy League schedule, and this time it's Princeton.
Yeah, this is the second year in a row that has become the schedule. The Ivy League does not change the schedules very often. They're really long-term things, across, and we see that they've made changes in how they're scheduling basketball weekends too. So I think, there's this look in the last few years about what's our scheduling philosophy as a league, and then I would bet that this current schedule they'll stay with for a long time.
And Ivy Magnus about to kick off as well with Cornell playing Dartmouth as well in the first round of Ivy Madness. Andrew McMeekin will grab a face-off win to start off the second quarter. A better game, respectively, for McMeekin. At least a couple face-off wins under his belt after going 0 for 8 last week against Rutgers.
In last year's game, Cornell opened up a lead early, and then Princeton, starting in the second quarter, put a 10-0 run together.
It was an 8-2 Cornell advantage at the time Cornell started a 10-goal run to make it 12-8. Eventually, Matt Dooley ending that game with a last-second goal to give Cornell a 15-14 victory in New Jersey. Palumbo's working against a short stick in Bartolotto. Behind the back. Can't allow Burns to get a shot. Cameron's working against a short stick as well in Gilmore. Sean Cameron, and a bouncer bounces around. Couple of posts, couple of legs.
I think it hit Dooley,
Yeah. Looked like that as well. And a ground ball was going to go the way of Cornell.
Boy,
But the failed outlet pass puts the ball right back into the stick of Kabiri.
it feels like that's about the fourth time Cornell has found a guy and just unable to just sort of secure it. Looks like they have it, and then it's ended up on the ground. And again, another turnover. Another opportunity with a full shot clock here for Princeton, their first group.
Turnovers 4 apiece for each team. McAsee feeding Burns, and that shot over the cage.
It's a good opportunity there for Burns where you come across way where you're sort of more on the backside. The defender's just that little bit further away to try and provide help. And gives enough opportunity to get his hands free.
McAsee against Jason Singer. Coulter McAsee, and Nust had it at the tip of his stick, and it floated over the bar. Wyatt Nust got just enough on that Coulter McAsee shot. Both goalkeepers had 4 saves apiece.
Feels like this is the type of tempo Cornell would like. It's kind of, I'll call it high-paced 6-on-6.
Yes.
It's not run up and down, run up and down. I mean, yeah, they take it if they get it, but it's sort of keeping the ball moving.
Goldstein lost stall for a second. Kirst against Molshine. CJ Kirst has tied Mike French for the all-time lead in Cornell's goal scored.
Just a little sort of stop and go. Watch how he goes, the little hitch, and that's what gets him down the alley with that right hand.
190 career goals for CJ Kirst.
And that's a name, Mike French, that has been on the top of that list for an incredibly long amount of time. Just an amazing player, and I think, this is an amazing accomplishment for C.J. Kirst to be able to, he's sort of, if you put the Mount Rushmore of Cornell lacrosse together, Mike French is clearly going to be one of the four. Just an amazing career so far for C.J. Kirst. I know there's a lot more he wants to accomplish, some of it individually, but I bet a lot of it from a team perspective. The thing to remember about Mike French, he did it in 3 seasons because freshmen were not eligible, right? So I think that, again, you can honor both for amazing careers, based on what they've accomplished while wearing the Cornell uniform.
Something to keep track of as well. McMeekin called for a second face-off violation of the half. Brian Lucy thought about it. He backs off to Goldstein. So 2 face-off violations on McMeekin. He gets a third. It's an automatic 30-second man up for Cornell in the half. Hung up defender for Goldstein. Croddick comes out to challenge. Goldstein slips. 40 seconds on the shot clock. Goldstein around GLE and missed the cage, and Croddick's going to be there first.
So you can see Cornell is able to get Goldstein on these sneaks. That's the 3rd or 4th time they've looked for him. It's a good opportunity. Unfortunately, just the backside attackman did not get there. Mackesy still has the ball on his stick. Try the hidden ball trick with Wade for a second there. Didn't trick anybody. Although we've seen it work. Syracuse pulled it off.
Against Johns Hopkins last week. Viral hood and ball trick last week between Hughes and Hopkins. Kabiri. Guano's got the short stick. Defender and Bozzi hung up. Guano has to skip pass and can't connect with Carson Kramer. Walker Schwartz picks up the ground ball. One of those young players as well who didn't play a lot last year, but really impressed the Cornell coaches this season. Walker Schwartz. Now Cornell's looking to run. Goldstein's all alone on the crease. Oh, Croddick stonewalled him.
That was a good play by Box, just hesitating, just was able to create that. And here we'll get the other way.
And can't connect on the crease once again. And Burns will just settle things down for Princeton now, as transition opportunities go by the wayside for each team.
Box's hesitation there is what created that opportunity. Looked like he was going to go to the long pole up top, and then he finds a streaking Goldstein inside. I thought it may have also gotten the pipe. I'd love to see that again.
Wyatt Nust once again, low save.
Mackesy sort of was a little bit, sort of seemed like a changeup, just tried to use his body to disguise it.
Both keepers have come to play. 5 saves for Croddick and Nust each.
And we're seeing a little bit, I saw this in a previous possession for this first midfield group. Looks like they are going to try and get the pull some to Kelleher. And even to Dalton. They've both seen it in the last couple, and it looks like Princeton's just comfortable just moving the matchups around.
This is a Princeton defense that's comfortable leaving defenders on an island if they need to. And C.J. Kirst is the new all-time leading goal scorer in Cornell history.
This is now a 5-goal run for the Big Red. Just again, you see Firth makes the defender rotate. The short stick coming from up top, just not able to get there in time.
And big congratulations to C.J. Kirst. Breaks Mike French's record. 191 career goals for number 15 in white.
And we're going to get Princeton's going to take a timeout, see if they can stop this run for Cornell.
The last 2 have been scored by Kirst. 191 career goals, atop the Cornell all-time leading scorers list.
Timeout on the field. Fans, don't miss out. mountains of flavor, those crispy peaks, 12 flavors so bold, your whole life is complete. Dipped in the lake, man, that ranch hits deep. New crispy tenders, bring the flavor, Wingstop.
Donnie came in today, munching on a bag of this.
Seen him in Chicago, too. Up and down the L.
Damn, man.
They are pizza. But they are delicious.
This Cheetos pizza thing, it changes everything.
Hey, you guys try these? Pretty tasty.
Hey, Donnie, don't you got someplace to be?
Cheetos Cheese Pizza Puffs. Proud to be the second best pizza thing.
Sweet kid.
I want to find and kill the people who murdered my wife. You're just a nerdy fella that works on computers. I need your help.
Take it. Hey. Point it at my chest.
You're just not a killer, Charlie. Do you ever account for the things I'm good at?
Maybe y'all misjudge this individual.
If you jump really fast, you might survive the blast.
Wait!
The Amateur, rated PG-13, only in theaters and IMAX April 11th.
Well, we've seen this story before. Cornell going on a big run in the start of the second quarter to open up a big lead against Princeton. That's what happened in the game last year. So you can't say this is over just yet, since Princeton went on a 10-goal run to take the lead last season against the Big Red. But what has Cornell done so well so far to open up this 5-goal lead?
They just seem more, connected as an offense right now. The ball is moving well. They're able to get dodges. Now you've seen last 4 goals are all unassisted, which is unusual. Usually you're seeing Cornell get assisted goals.
I mean, what also will help is Kobe Ginder trying to earn a face-off win, and a flag is going to fly.
Love to see that again. Looked like a pretty good hit from the front to me. Maybe he's got a slash in there.
But an important face-off win for Kobe Ginder to pick up in relief of McMeekin, who couldn't take the face-off due to a face-off violation. So the face-offs are now 7-5 in favor of Cornell, but a man upcoming for the Tigers. You see the laundry at the 30-yard line, top of your screen. And so Princeton can hold for a good shot because they have the man upcoming.
They got a matchup here if they wanted. Short stick on Mackesy. Oh, no, excuse me, it wasn't.
It was a short stick on Mackesy, but unfortunately for the Tigers, the pass off target, and Brendan Staub will start the man up. Officials conversing at the 30-yard line. Again, your officials today: Rob Gross, Nicholas Schmidt, and Jeffrey Ryan.
See what we get for a call here as they have a little confab.
All 3 officials are going to have a chat now.
It was over a ground ball situation shortly after that face-off.
Walker Schwartz is the one in the box right now. It's a cross-check.
1 minute.
And they're going to review because I think they're going to ask to see if this was a cross-check to the head. So one of the new rules in Division I men's lacrosse, relatively new still, official video review. As the penalty is actually getting called on stop. Again, they're reviewing for a hit to the head, and we saw this last week when Jack Cascadden was called for a hit to the head that allowed Penn State to go on its run to tie and eventually win the game.
Yeah, and that one I felt seeing it live and then seeing the replay that was the right call there. That was more of a head-to-head sort of hit, lowering the head and making it here.
This one was being called as a cross-check.
Cross-check. Now the question is, how flagrant did it get them in the head enough that they feel like it warrants that extra minute?
We'll talk about it when we get there, but special teams is going to be a big part of this game with how lethal Princeton's unit has been versus how Cornell's Big Red man-down defense played last week. The power play is going to be important for Princeton.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams have excellent extra man units. You've got Cornell, the number 4 ranked in the country, whereas Princeton's ranked number 2. Cornell's at 60%, Princeton's at 70%, and both of these man-down units struggle some. You know, both of them have not had a lot of success. Cornell giving up the man-up goals late against Penn State and cost them the game. You know, they're the 63rd ranked man-down unit in Division I. Princeton's is at 38. Number 38 in the country. So
the difference though for Princeton, they've only had 5 man-down plays.
Looks like we're going to get our answer here. Cross-check, 1 minute.
So nothing to the head there. So at least it's a releasable penalty for Cornell, and Princeton will only get the 1 minute man-up time instead of the 2 minute unreleasable time that the Big Red had to face last week.
Official gets his flag back, and we're another stoppage.
They're going to put the shot clock back to 80. Doesn't seem they shouldn't. Yeah.
After review, the penalty was changed to a cross-check, but remains at 1 minute.
Because it looked like the officials were signaling for some sort of clock reset.
Yeah, and it reset to 60.
It should reset to 60.
Correct.
Yeah. The officials getting their timers right, and we'll start the 1 minute penalty for Princeton. Their man-up specialist is number 36, Brandon Saris.
On the wheel.
Game of catch between Kabiri and Mackesy. Nice feed to Palumbo, and he snuck it past Nuss. Are they going to say he was on the crease? Oh, another flag comes out. But the goal is going to stand.
Just able to get underneath the defender there. Again, when you're a man playing man down, you got to break down, and there you end up just Dooley was just a little over aggressive, didn't break down, just sort of gets underneath him, and then there's going to be the flag as well for a late hit.
They'll wave off the flag because the goal was scored in good. But Princeton once again.
So then what do they call it, a push?
They called it a push on Michael Bozzi at the edge of the crease. So we're back to full strength. Princeton scores its 8th power play goal of the season on 11 attempts.
You know, and we've seen Cornell, the goals they've given up when man down have been down low, similar spot, and that's a hold.
But a face-off win
nonetheless, I thought.
Yeah, but a face-off win for McMeekin still. Such an important bounce-back game for Andrew McMeekin, who on this field last year was named the Ivy League Tournament Most Outstanding Player for his efforts in the Ivy League Tournament. And after struggling this year, this is an important game for Andrew McMeekin to start to find his groove in Ivy League play. Singer runs into a hard screen. The switch on to Mackesy works.
It seemed to me like Singer was more interested in hitting the picker than he was in trying to get through it. Didn't it have that feel to you?
I would agree.
You know, I think you want to try and get to that matchup. He just runs him right over.
I don't think he saw him, actually, which is probably what allowed Mackesy to get him free.
Yeah, well, and Mackesy comes back to his right hand. He's got the short stick because of that change of the pick.
And Charlie Box could only do so much against Coulter Mackesy. Only behind Kirsch for career goals amongst active Division I players. As Cascadin once again battling in the face-off dot against Kobe Ginder, this time for Princeton. And Ginder is the one who picks up the ground ball. But a huge check from Michael Long, almost forcing a turnover again.
Although Princeton very aggressive getting their attackmen towards the midfield line to give as many outlets as possible in that ground ball situation.
6 minutes left to go here in the second quarter, and Princeton has scored 2 straight to cut the deficit to 7-4.
And faceoffs are now all even. Princeton's gotten the last few.
Free lane for Palumbo off the right post. And here comes Ryan Goldstein to pick up the ground ball.
Good job by Michael Long checking up on the defender's stick. He gets Michael Bath to lose his stick on the ground. Again, we've talked about in the past the rule change. You have to only get the ball in the offensive end using a stick. You can no longer use the body.
So the mid.
You'll have a change game. Here comes Andrew Dalton's going to come right down the middle with a head of steam.
Here is Dalton. Free lane for Andrew Dalton. No one slid to him, and it's a kick save from Krodek.
And Cornell's going to play this as 5-on-5. You see we've got Cornell with the short stick midfielder just staying locked up outside. So it becomes 5-on-5 essentially.
TJ Lamb is keeping John Dunphy on the field off the top of your screen to your right. And another shovel shot from Firth. This time doesn't quite pay off, but Goldstein is there on the backup. And Lamb is still keeping Dunphy on the field for the next 39 seconds, excuse me. So open field 5-on-5 action. Goldstein, passed up top. CJ Kirsch tried the BTB. He couldn't quite do so.
A little bit of French pastry as they brought the slide from Friedman to Poles.
Cornell is trying to take as much of advantage as they can on this 5-on-5 opportunity, and Goldstein can't shovel it past the far corner.
That's one he'd like back because he was all alone there. The opportunity to convert, 12 to shoot here for Long.
Already 4 shots on this possession alone.
And now you see Cornell getting the long pole on.
Kirsch found himself all alone. Oh, Krodek! Brian Krodek showing why he's one of the best goalkeepers in the Ivy League right now. And a huge hit on the ride. Long will pick the ground ball up, and they're going to call the push, though.
The backside official made that call from 40 yards away.
Oh, that looks like a clean hit.
Well, to me, it was close, all right? So I'm not going to say that it was a bad call, but the fact that the guy who was 8 yards away from it, looking right at it, didn't call it, and the guy 40 yards away from the backside, that's tough.
So Princeton, can they take advantage with their first midfield on? Kabiri feeding Burns on the far post.
And now we said, you know, right after Cornell got that lead, Princeton's going to come back, and now they've put 3 in a row together. Kabiri comes from behind, just a nice little slip there, and Burns does a nice job of just getting it right out of his stick because the defender wasn't that far away. But he is able to slip to that backside.
One of those highly touted freshmen that came to Princeton last year, Colin Burns, now with an 8th goal on the season. As the wind starts to pick up here at Chokoff Field, another face-off win for Cornell. They've taken the advantage in face-offs. What a bounce-back game from Andrew McMeekin and Kobe Ginder. Kramer. Freed up Mackesy. The game of runs continues between Cornell and Princeton.
And there's an opportunity that Princeton gets through their change game. They were able to get Kramer free coming out of the midfield, and then Cornell had to rotate and just slow getting out to Mackesy. All because they just made a good job through the change to create that space.
We're repeating what we saw last year. 5-goal run from Cornell, now answered by a 3-goal run from Princeton that's still on goal line.
4-goal run.
4-goal run, excuse me. It's back to a 1-goal game, and how badly did Cornell need that face-off win? It's the young freshman, Michael Melkonian.
Yeah, that's an important win. That's an important win for your Cornell because you need to try and break the runs.
And Cornell really likes to play this 5-on-5 game because Melkonian is staying on the field.
Well, to the point where Princeton said, all right, we're just going to go. Like, he was uncovered, just standing out near the corner. Princeton's like, well, we're going to change anyway, so.
And Cornell will respond by bringing on its second midfield line. Ryan Waldman. Luzzy rides the checks. Goldstein dancing and can't find the back post.
Would have liked to seen him be able to get that second hand on this cross, but just unable to do it because of the pressure.
Luzzy gets doubled because here comes Waldman. Ryan Waldman, and he got it.
Good patience there by Luzzy. He was in a position where he looked like he was going to try and shoot, but he just saw that he couldn't really get his hands free. So look at how he gets kind of hung up and just comes back to Waldman, curls back, goes upper corner, opposite stick side, stops the run at 4, and gets this back to a 2-goal lead for Cornell.
And Waldman's another one of those young players that features in this game, a sophomore who didn't get much run last year, but really impressed the Cornell coaching staff in the fall to earn a spot on that second midfield line. Another face-off win, though, for the Tigers, as McMeekin is starting to flex his muscles.
That was against Melkonian. I think they're trying to keep the matchups changing there for Cornell. I believe Cascadon took the one. No, it was Melkonian the one before, too.
You have 2 face-off guys for each team who each coach is willing to throw out at any point. Melkonian and Cascadon for Cornell, McMeekin and Ginder for Princeton. Burns, hard slide from Dooley.
Did a nice job closing the distance there. Prevented the sneak.
Mackesy almost got around Singer, but Nuss got his stick on the ball.
And now look for Cornell to hold for 1. They do have 2 timeouts, so it'll be interesting to see if they decide to use it. They did get the long pole on. See if they get something out of the box here. Looks like they're just going to play it out.
It's CJ Kirst with the ball at the top of your screen. How many times have we seen CJ Kirst go on one-on-one matchups like this?
Not play it out. Call the timeout with 28 seconds left in the half.
But you trust CJ Kirst in these types of situations, end-of-quarter situations, going one-on-one against his defender. You think to the famous one last year against Ohio State against Bobby Van Buren and took him to the cleaners at the end of the 3rd quarter. Might be a bit of a tougher task against Colin Wolsheim, but these are the type of moments that you put the ball into the cross of number 15.
Well, it's interesting. This is one of those situations where, does Princeton try to change something up, right? Do they come out in a zone? That's what Cornell did near the end of regulation last year. They came out in zone and created the turnover that then comes down the other way, and you end up with Matt Dooley creating the goal with, I believe, just over a second remaining in regulation. Here you look for, Kirst. I think the other interesting question is, where does the long pole go? They've been changing it throughout. Right before the timeout was called, the pole was on Kelleher, who I don't think doesn't have a goal yet in this game. So it'll be interesting to see if they make a decision based off of what the matchup is, and it looks like it's going to be Kelleher who's going to start with the ball on the sideline.
Give a little bit of space for CJ Kirst to work with.
Well, and it's also just interesting to see if that gives you, did they put the pole on him there, and then you decide to move it around to first on the backside for him to go. I bet that, let's see, no, they're keeping him out on the wing.
Willem Firth on your screen
so you're
right
in a
now.
little 1-3-2.
1 goal and 1 assist for number 51 in white, who's on your screen right now again. At the top of your screen to the right on the 30-yard line, that's Kelleher who has the ball. And it is a bit of a zone look here from Princeton. Under 20 seconds to go in the half. Goldstein, stick fake, and another save from Krodek.
Oh, and I think Princeton should have had that one on the run out, I thought. They're going to have to stop things. The clock kept running. The clock did not stop when it went out of bounds. So they're going to have to fix that.
Officials will congregate and make sure they get the clock correct. It'll be Firth who has the ball to initiate.
I was surprised to see Goldstein go, at that point, but I guess they felt like the matchup and the opportunity was there. You were right in that we were seeing some of that more of a zone look. It looks like now they're in more of a man look.
And they'll switch the ball also to have Goldstein take the ball to initiate from the back. And he's got Molshine covering
with
him.
Molshine on him. So it'll be interesting to see if Cornell perhaps tries to go off a different matchup. Maybe you come right here to Long on the wing.
Waiting to see how much time will be
Yes,
back on the
that's
clock.
the interesting question. 14, so they gave it almost 3 seconds.
Long, trying to feed Kirst.
Flag down.
To the
Cornell
back.
needs this ball to get out of bounds.
The ball does get out of bounds. So with 1 second left, a flag is thrown. And that means that Cornell will also start with the ball to start the second half.
That's why I was saying Cornell needed the ball to get out of bounds so that then they could pick up the ball, hold it, and then have the extra man opportunity to start the third quarter. If this is a foul, let's see.
It's a 1 minute penalty, it looks like that was called. It's against Cooper Kistler.
I was wondering if it was on Molshine because he had been on the ball. He has his last penalty was in 2023. No fouls all of last season. He has 1 foul in his career. It was a 30-second hold.
So it's an 8-6 lead for the number 6 Cornell Big Red over the number 2 Princeton Tigers. But a very interesting final 30 minutes coming up here at Chokoff Field. When the second half starts, Cornell will be on a 1 minute power play. We'll take a quick break here on ESPN Plus. Come with first half highlights and more on the other side of the break. You're watching Cornell and Ivy League lacrosse here on ESPN Plus.
I am Polestar 3. I am pure electric performance. From the straightaways to the hairpin turns, I am designed to be driven. The drive of tomorrow. I am Polestar 3. View offers at polestar.com.
What are we doing today, Coach?
So, today, we're going to work on our checking on...
Sorry, I heard checking.
A bit of a misunderstanding.
I meant checking on how we can help save our customers money on their car insurance.
And whether they need car, home, boat, or pet coverage.
Precisely. Now, let's go again. Susan?
Always wanted to do that.
My turn.
Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
Best day of training so far.
How's your elbow?
It's killing me.
As a kid, I fell in love with basketball. But early in my career, my world began to close in. It was my first migraine, and it hit hard. I had to dig deep and remember, you don't face challenges alone. By seeking help, I stopped migraine from stopping me. Because true support is knowing someone's got your back. Talk to a doctor about migraine today at PfizerForAll.com.
My wife was murdered. I want to go after Sarah's killers.
Point it at my chest! Do it now!
You might be the smartest person in the CIA, but you're just not a killer.
Do you ever account for the things I'm good at? This is a device that's been decompressing the glass beneath you. You held a gun to my wife's head. You have the wrong person. I have exactly the right person.
The Amateur, rated PG-13, only in theaters and IMAX, April 11th.
8-6 is your lead for the Cornell Big Red over the Princeton Tigers here at halftime at Chokoff Field. Christian Guzman here alongside Tom LaFosse as we take a look at some of the first half highlights. The pace has been frantic in this game, showed by the 14 goals that have been scored between these two teams so far.
Yeah, it's been up tempo. You know, it's felt like it's gotten a little bit sloppy and careless with the ball. But here you're going to see Wade gets our opening goal for the Princeton Tigers.
And Tucker Wade's been a killer against the Big Red. 6 goals in his career against Cornell.
And then Sheehan gets his first of the season on a little look inside by Waldman. Then Kirst got going a little bit, finds Goldstein on the backside.
It's 4 points so far for CJ Kirst, 3 goals and an assist.
But Wade comes right back, able to get Princeton going again. Cornell opening up with had a 5-goal run there at the end of the first quarter and into the second. Here's Michael Long with the lefty after coming through the little 2-man game pick at X.
This is the start of the 5-goal run from Cornell that opened up a 7-2 lead at one point.
Yeah, and then in that second quarter, you ended up with Princeton starting to win some faceoffs and get some ground balls, and that's what was able for them to put their 4-goal run together in the later part of that second quarter.
Princeton with a +3 advantage in the ground ball department to help them give possession and end this 5-goal run for Cornell, and it started a 4-goal run for Princeton.
Yeah,
also waited on the man up.
Yeah, with this extra man goal here, Palumbo, and then there was a foul called that was waved off.
It's been a great game offensively so far.
Here Kabiri finds Burns, that little slip play. Just a great job of getting the ball out of his stick quickly.
I mean, what you're not going to see in these highlights after this Waldman goal is that both goalkeepers have done excellent so far. 8 saves for Ryan Croddock and 6 saves for Wyatt Nuss.
Yeah, the goaltending's been solid. I think it's been a well-played game. Cornell will have an opportunity here to see if they can put a second goal in a row together. We'll start the third quarter with an extra man opportunity to be their first of the game.
We'll take a quick break here. We'll come back with some more of the first half stats after this short break.
This entire meal for just $6.99. Crispy Fisher chicken. Large drink, large fry, but not the cutting board. Don't be greedy. Arby's, we have the meats.
Donnie came in today munching on a bag of this.
Seen him in Chicago, too. Up and down the L.
Dio mio.
They aren't pizza, but they are delicious.
This Cheetos pizza thing, it changes everything.
Hey, you guys rice? Pretty tasty.
Hey, Donnie, don't you got someplace to be?
Cheetos Cheese Pizza Puffs. Proud to be the second best pizza thing.
Sweet kid.
You could buy on your own. You could get a lender, get viewings. Too small for a yoga studio, too big for a yoga studio, too much character. Get in your car and cry. Get back out there. Get a good one. Tons of natural lights and vibes. Get ready to make an offer. Wait, what the? Get your hopes destroyed by Chad, the aspiring DJ downstairs. Get into the fetal position. Or you could get an agent who is a realtor with the expertise and ethical training to help you find the best space for your business.
We live for the NWSL on ESPN. Facts. For the trend spins and the soap shrugs. For Double B, the MVP, and the GOAT. For fandom so fierce you can feel it. Because this is more than a league. It's a lifestyle. And we are here for it. All of it. All the time. If you are too, you know where to find us. The NWSL on ESPN. Facts.
Back here at halftime here at Chokoff Field, Cornell leads 8-6 over Princeton. Christian Guzman here alongside Tom LaFalce as we take a look at some of the first half stats between Cornell and Princeton so far. The shots favor Cornell 24-17, and the shots on goal 16-12 to give Cornell a bit of an advantage on the offensive end. We see the ground balls are starting to bring Princeton back into this game.
Yeah, Cornell had the lead 12-7 after the first quarter, but Princeton out ground balls the Big Red 11-3 in that second quarter. Some of that is that Princeton won 6 of the 8 face-offs that were happening in that quarter. But I think this has been a really even contest. It feels like either team can go on a run, right? No lead's going to be safe. So I think if you're Cornell, you want to come out and get the next one here coming out of the break in your extra man to be able to sort of get off on the right foot here in this third quarter.
Faceoffs right now favor Princeton 9-8, but there will be no faceoff to start the second half, as Cornell will start with a 59-second power play as we start the second quarter. We'll take one more quick break before we enter the third quarter of play, with Cornell holding a 2-goal advantage over the Princeton Tigers here on ESPN+.
All right, trainees, let's say Glenn is a customer.
I'm a customer in this scenario.
What do we do?
Protect what's important to him.
And how do we do this?
We help with car, home,
Both.
RV coverage.
Great, apply coverages. Because you never know what life is going to surprise you with at 90 miles per hour.
Did Coach say 90?
Push him out there.
You've got this, Glenn.
Am I gonna feel this? I felt that.
Is he okay?
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Oh, he's moving.
I am Polestar 3. I am pure electric performance. From the straightaways to the hairpin turns, I am designed to be driven. The drive of tomorrow. I am Polestar 3. View offers at polestar.com.
My wife was murdered. I want to go after Sarah's killers.
Point it at my chest. Do it now.
You might be the smartest person in the CIA, but you're just not a killer.
Do you ever account for the things I'm good at? This is a device that's been decompressing the glass beneath you. You held a gun to my wife's head. You have the wrong person. I have exactly the right person.
The Amateur, rated PG-13, only in theaters and IMAX, April 11th.
Second half about to get underway here between Cornell and Princeton on ESPN Plus. Christian Guzman here alongside Tom LaFalce. Before the second half starts, let's take a look around the Ivy League and around the nation as well at some of the out-of-town scoreboards as the start of Ivy League play in men's lacrosse begins. The only non-Ivy League matchup is Dartmouth versus Hobart, with Dartmouth holding a 9-4 lead against the Statesmen. The only other games in action are Brown Penn and Yale Harvard. Harvard just taking the lead against Yale with a Sam King goal, with that game just underway now.
Yeah, and this is the first full weekend of Ivy League play, right? So now it's the race to host the Ivy League tournament. The regular season winner of the league gets the opportunity to call themselves the Ivy League champion and the opportunity to host the Ivy League tournament. The Ivy League tournament, the winner of that gets the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
And last year it was Cornell as the Ivy League champion, earning the rights to host the Ivy League tournament, but it was Princeton who claimed the honors after defeating Yale and Penn on their way to the Ivy League crown last season.
Yeah, and both of these teams were picked. This was expected to be at the start of the season a big game, and so far it's lived up to the billing with both squads coming out here. Neither one with an easy schedule. If you look at Princeton, they've got wins on the road against both Duke and North Carolina. They lost an overtime contest against Penn State. We mentioned last week Penn State may be trying to get into the Ivy League by playing as many Ivy League teams in lacrosse as possible. So this is, two teams that the nation is watching to see what they are able to do. So an important contest, and especially as it goes to that tiebreaker, if it comes to it at the end of the season, of who would host the tournament.
Quick correction there, it was Princeton who won in overtime against Penn State. The only loss for Princeton on the year is against the #1 team in the nation in Maryland.
You're right.
As for Cornell's side, it was Cornell. Their only loss of the year was the overtime loss to Penn State last week when Cornell was leading 12-8. Heading into the final minutes of the fourth quarter, but then the 2-minute Jack Cascaden penalty for the hit to the head allowed Penn State to go on the run to tie the game and eventually win in overtime. The other games for Cornell, two sort of warm-up games, you could say, against Lehigh and Hobart, and then two ranked victories against Denver and Richmond are what make up the Cornell resume so far.
Yeah, and this is where you see, these wins are important. These wins against the top 5, wins against the top 10, wins against the top 20 are one of the criteria that they look at to evaluate teams for the at-large bid to the NCAA tournament.
As we said, this will be Cornell to start with the ball without a face-off because of a man-up that will last for the next 59 seconds. A slash was called on Cooper Kistler to end the quarter in the second quarter. So Cornell is on the man advantage for the next minute or so.
There, it looks like they're locking Kirst, so it's going to be a 5-on-4 opportunity. Cornell looks like they're happy to just let him be locked off there.
Bath into the passing lane of Long. Got to keep an eye on Willem Firth, though. He has 4 man-up goals and thought about it, but decided not to fire. Goldstein does find Willem Firth. 5 man-up goals for Willem Firth this season.
Boy, he has just been able in that extra man to get himself into good spaces. And there you could see he's able to convert, get himself off of the wing a little bit. Good opportunity there. Just looks straight across and through. The defender who was locking C.J. Kirst, it was Cooper Mueller, tries to come down and get there, but he's just not able to do it. And Cornell starts this second half the way they want with a man-up goal.
The 7th man-up goal of the season for Cornell on 11 attempts, and 5 of those goals have been scored by Willem Firth. And now we'll finally get the first face-off of the second half. It's won by Andrew McMeekin, and now it's a 10-8 advantage for the Princeton Tigers in the face-off dot, and McMeekin's now 8 of 14 at the dot. Yeah, expected a better performance out of McMeekin after going 0 for 8 against Rutgers last week. The Tigers have certainly gotten that from him.
Just seems to do well when he gets to Sholkoff Field.
The 2024 Ivy League Tournament most outstanding player last year, Andrew McMeekin. I mean, his face-offs against Yale and Penn, a big reason why Princeton won the Ivy League Tournament. Nice swing move and a score.
That's Palumbo, I believe.
It is indeed Chad
just
Palumbo.
Gets underneath the defender. And then the slide just a little bit late getting over there.
Second goal for Chad Palumbo today, his first at even strength. And he puts on a nice move against Walker Wallace.
And a really well-placed shot over Wyatt Nust. Stops the 2-goal Cornell run very quickly.
Cascadin and McMeekin will do battle once again.
He jumped McMeekin. So again, to your point, he will
fortunately
have to hop out for the next one.
And fortunately for McMeekin, the faceoff violations reset as well, so it's his first of the half. And Cascadin tries a long-range shot. 5 goals on the season, but doesn't connect there.
Eddie Rahill on the backup. We got word he must have had a problem with his jersey in the first half. Changed to a number we didn't recognize, and looks like he's back into his regular number 46 jersey for the second half.
Might have gotten his jersey messed up with how physical the first half was as well.
Little wardrobe malfunction.
Exactly.
And Princeton playing some more zone here.
It's keeping Molshine off the Kirst matchup. And C.J. Kirst has a short stick. How much does he want to take advantage of that? Spins away. Skip pass. Onto the crease. And Goldstein just missed the target.
Really good ball movement there by Cornell. And they did it quickly, right? They still have 35 to shoot here.
First to initiate. Kirst will go against Stahl.
Being a 1-4-1 here.
26 on the timer. Nice slide from Michael Bath to try and get into the passing lane. Firth just keeps the ball in bounds.
But they're going to have an opportunity here.
Odd man situation. Long passes it off. Kelleher, step down. Bouncer. Pass Croddick.
And Cornell actually, that's an opportunity that's created because of that sort of almost turnover. That was what created the opportunity for Long to get behind his defender. Moves the ball up top. And then the bouncer from Kelleher. That step down is what he does so well.
And you saw there at the end of the replay, Michael Long immediately pointed to Willem Firth to give him his kudos for keeping that ball in play.
And that's Kelleher's first of the game.
An important ground ball pickup for Willem Firth. The ground ball advantage is still in the ledger of Princeton at +3 on the game.
McMeekin, though, can't take this face-off because of his previous violation.
Kobe Ginder, number 99 in black, is the one who takes the face-off. This ball still on the turf. Walker Schwartz escapes with the ball.
And quickly gets it into C.J. Kirst's stick. That's a pretty good place to be able to go.
Cascadin will change out. Schwartz still on the field. And as Cornell tries to play some games in the change game, the second midfield line will trot out though.
Back to man-to-man here from Princeton defensively.
The pulls on Ryan Waldman. Short stick on Kirst. Goldstein stops on a dime. Battling against Stahl. Goldstein missed high.
Good job by Sheehan backing up the cage there. Long will take it off the end line. Be covered by Bath. We've seen this matchup throughout the day. Bath was the one, I think, who created that turnover on Firth in the corner.
And causes another turnover there. Michael Bath, the former long stick midi. He was so good as a long stick midi, transferring to close D, much like Brendan Staub for Cornell. And Michael Bath and Colin Molshine create an excellent duo for Princeton defensively. But
and
a failed clear.
And it was a good Cornell ride. Kirst really, really made the goaltender, Craddock, just work.
7 failed clears for Princeton last week, 3 already today.
Cornell with the quick clear.
And it's not like Princeton's an awful clearing team. They clear at 85% this year. You'd like it closer to 90, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, 90 is about where you want to be.
Cornell on the other side clears at 88.2%.
First got to Shorty.
Gets a screen from Kirst, who got a little bit tripped up trying to battle past the screen. Kelleher is the one who draws the pull. And Molshine's back on Kirst. Gets the slide. Firth again on the shorty. Well, Firth and Craddock had the post covered all the way. It'll earn a shot clock reset, though, for Cornell.
Yeah, a little twister shot there as he comes down. But Cornell have the full 60.
Goldstein rides around the hard checks from Stahl. Here's Dalton. Stops on a dime. Kelleher trying to fight off the pull of Kistler. Still 40 on the reset shot clock. Michael Long off the pipe.
I think it got him in the hands. And I think Princeton gets this run out. I would keep going to Michael Long. Michael Long has been able to get a step on his defender all game long here, right? And so I would look at that as an opportunity. Let him dodge from behind.
The first job is for Princeton to get the clear. They will. As Michael Kelly takes it across the halfway line and resets things for Palumbo.
That was Craddock's 10th save of the contest.
Only 4 goal scorers for Princeton. It's 2 from Chad Palumbo, 2 from Tucker Wade, 2 from Coulter Mackesy, and a goal from Colin Burns. Much more even disbursement on the Cornell side.
Kabiri with a shorty.
Michael Bozzi is the shorty on Nate Kabiri. Kabiri soloing on Bozzi. Passes it off. Mackesy once again gets a screen.
They love that 2-man game. They run lots of guys through.
Dunphy trying to get the ball from Palumbo, but it's great defense from Matt Dooley. Only 1 failed clear for Cornell today. Again, clearing at 88.2% on the year, but they only have 3 seconds to get it across the halfway line. Lizey's got to move quickly, and they don't get it over in time.
And that was, a lot of it was the ride at the front end by Burns, I believe it was. Just Cornell didn't get into their clear quickly. They lost probably, 4 or 5 seconds at the very beginning out of that 20-second count.
Haven't seen much of this second midfield line from Princeton, but Tucker Wade has been active when he's gotten the ball. Nice split dodge to get past Bartolotto. But Ray Hill's right there. Burns will push it past Nust.
Buonanno just kept creating space there, and then he finds Burns inside. I was surprised that he didn't just go straight to the cage himself. Here, he takes it, comes back, looks inside, just a little curl. Second of the game there.
And back and forth we go. No one can find a run yet in the second half, as we'll take a quick break here at Chokov Field. It's still a 2-goal lead for the Big Red over the Tigers on ESPN+.
At Team Impact, we pair kids who have been sidelined by serious illness and disability with college teams from across the country.
What's up, big man? You good?
It's more than a single-day meet and greet or photo opportunity. Our program places kids on a multi-year journey, becoming true members of a collegiate athletics team.
We are Penn State.
From signing day to game day.
I can't describe it. It feels amazing.
Team Impact. All in, all together.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed at ticketsmarter.com.
Both teams have traded goals to open up the third quarter. We're still at a 2-goal advantage for Cornell as we're about halfway through the third quarter here at Chokoff Field. Christian Guzman here alongside Tom LaFalce as Andrew McMeekin and Jack Cascading continue to battle, and it's the 6'7" body of Walker Wallace who picks up the faceoff.
Yeah, that helps in that coming off a wing on a faceoff to be able to do that.
The former goalkeeper turned long stick midi picks up the faceoff, and now Cornell back on the clear. Ball gets over to Charlie Box. Michael Long with 1 goal and 1 assist today, number 1 in white. But Tom, as you mentioned during our break, it feels like Michael Long has the ability to unlock this game for Cornell.
Yeah, he's been able to get a step pretty consistently now. The last time he got inside, Croddick made a nice save. But I think that the opportunities they're getting when he's got it in his stick is something worth looking at. It looks like we're getting back to that zone again.
Firth comes to X to help out Goldstein. Clock is really winding down right now as Kelleher initiates his dodge and takes a spill. Under 20 to shoot for Cornell. Nothing on Cage yet. Feed up top, Kelleher met by the short stick and Mueller. Has to flip it over for Long. Looking for an angle to pass, under 10 seconds to shoot. Curse with Firth right on the doorstep, another save from Croddick. 11 saves for the reigning Ivy League Defensive Player of the Week, but a failed clear once again puts the ball right back into Cornell's stick, and they'll slow things down with the shot clock reset.
Yeah, Croddick making a nice save there. Just good patience by Cornell with the clock winding down. I thought Curse was going to let one fly. He makes that extra pass down to Firth down low.
Keeps the Princeton defense playing against zone defense. Goldstein all the way over to Kirst. Way open off the left post. Karam's all the way back. And they're going to give the ball to Princeton with Mackesy closest to the ball on the opposite side of the halfway line.
It was close. It was very close. Cornell had 2 guys trying to get there. Kirst just rings one off the crossbar.
What have you seen from that Princeton zone that is working right now against Cornell?
I think Cornell's actually looked good against the zone. I mean, they've moved the ball well. It's almost helped them get into tempo and rhythm a little bit better. The ball movement, they're creating opportunities, but that's where you get Croddick, right? When you've got him backing you up to make the save. Now, granted, that was off the crossbar, but I think Cornell would be just fine to be going against the zone because I think they're creating good opportunities.
Princeton trying to go back on its run. That brought them right back in this game. 5-goal run in the first and second quarter, answered by a 4-goal Princeton run in the second quarter.
Moving pick.
Dunphy's goal won't count.
McAsee was the one who set that screen.
You heard the whistle clear as day before Dunphy got the shot off.
And that's what Princeton uses, that two-man action a lot in their offense. You see constantly guys running underneath Dodgers, picks coming.
And you see Cornell's trying to keep a man on the field and play 5-on-5. Bozzi was trying to keep Dunphy on the field once again, but Dunphy immediately noticed that and sprinted off for the change. Lozzie. Waldman. Can't find a shooting lane. Hard slide on to Luzzy, who has the pull. Kirst on the doorstep. CJ Kirst.
And like I said, it just feels like they're in a good groove right now. The ball is moving crisply. It's moving well. They're creating opportunities, right? They're not converting every time, but they are creating opportunities throughout. And just a good opportunity where Goldstein threatens. Kirst comes through the middle and is able to convert.
192 career goals for CJ Kirst, a Cornell legend on the field.
And you're seeing this is just a back and forth game, right? Ever since this entire quarter is one team scores, then the other team answers right back. So no one's been able to put any sort of a run together.
Back to a 3-goal lead for Cornell. And we'll do battle again between Cascadin and McMeekin.
They called him for a jump.
They called it on Cascadin, his first violation of the half. So McMeekin and Cascadin with a violation each. With how tight the face-off battle is right now, that's something we've got to keep track of. With each face-off man trying every advantage they can get.
They're dead even, 11 apiece.
Cascadin is 8 of 17 at the dot.
Almost a cause turnover.
Burns almost lost that ball. McMeekin at the dot is 9 of 17.
Maybe something out of the change game here.
Wade can't get a passing lane on. Burns up top to McAsee. And Nust put it right in his pocket.
I tell you, as I've been talking about long at the one end, I'd keep going back to Wade because Wade keeps getting steps left and right, and there, Wyatt Nust up to the task on the McAsee shot. I think that's one of those things that, as we've been sort of looking at the stats and where we've been at, it does feel like they're going to need Wyatt Nust to come up and make a save. You know, it's hard. You know, you expect goalies. I think goalie play, you know, you got to make the ones you got to get, but then you need to get, there's 2 or 3 in a game of saves you make that maybe you don't have any right making. And it doesn't feel like he's had, you know, multiple of those today. So I think as this game's so close and so back and forth, you know, look for him to see if he can, you know, get that save for Cornell when they need it.
3 saves for Croddick in the half, 1 for Nust on the opposite end. Keller has drawn the pole matchup all day. Princeton's back to man with Molshine on Kirst. And Goldstein off the pipe.
And again, you see Cornell, the Dodgers from behind, be it Goldstein or Long, have both been able to get steps throughout this game.
Goldstein has 9 shots today, only has 1 goal to show for it.
Feels like a lot of them, he's just got to get that one extra step.
Kirst against Molshine. Firth on the short stick. Goldstein's got the fender hung up. Stall. And the dunk attempt for Firth is not quite there on target.
Still a lot of time, 28 to shoot. Looks like they're going to have Kirst dodge from the back here.
He'll try his hand against Molshine. It's a 2-man from Dalton. Dalton gets her right back, but can't quite handle the pass.
Again, that's a really tough pass. When it's so flat like that, it's really tough to complete that pass. Maybe a break opportunity here. Ooh, that is a really nice job by Kabiri getting that errant pass. Oh, no, excuse me, it wasn't Kabiri. It was the...
No, it was Kabiri who saved it, but it was a really awkward stick angle to see his stick to try and recover that ball. So the first midfield line is out for the Tigers. But again, this doesn't have Tucker Wade on it, who has 2 goals and 6 against Cornell in his career.
Kabiri with the short.
And Kabiri will fire it over Nust. Nate Kabiri joins the goal-scoring party, his first of the day.
And I think that's one that, you know, I don't know if he wasn't expecting the shot there, but as you see it, you know, that look. Oh, I wonder if Dooley. I wonder if Dooley got in his vision a little bit there. And it's a beautifully placed shot by Kabiri. Gets it, you know, opposite stick side, top corner.
Under a minute to go here in this third quarter, and we keep going back and forth and back and forth. No one has seized another run.
Jump.
And that is McMeekin's second of the half.
Cornell, what do we got?
Whistle's getting blown.
Cornell's going to be able to hold for 1 here. It's going to be the second unit. They have another clock problem? Maybe?
Not quite sure, but again.
Either way.
It's under a minute.
I don't think they're going to add. Well, they added almost 10 seconds to it. I mean, it doesn't really.
Well, this was the time that Kabiri scored the goal, so because of the face-off violation, I guess the clock doesn't start because of the face-off violation.
Or they didn't stop it quick enough.
Second midfield will be out for the final possession for Cornell of this third quarter. Waldman with the ball in his stick has a goal and an assist today.
And Cornell's just running clock here.
Check that. It's Luzzy with the ball in his stick. Waldman, number 3 on your screen at the logo. Battling against Jackson Green, the Princeton football player. And Luzzy will start. Here comes Waldman. Long at X. Gets around GLE. Surveying his options. Michael Long dancing, firing, foot save from Kroddick. Ball squirts away, and it's going to stay with Cornell. 3 seconds left. Kirst looks at the clock. Will fire from distance, and it's safely into the stick of Kroddick.
Well, back and forth we go. I think we're in for a great fourth quarter here of lacrosse here today at Shulkoff.
3 goals for each team alternating goals here in the third quarter. It's going to be a great 15 minutes of lacrosse coming up to end off the fourth quarter as we come back here on ESPN+. 11-9 the lead for Cornell.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One that packs the flavor with a mild heat and crispy garlic chips.
And a truly spicy one for people who like to prove their strength at lunch.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Find a pet-friendly Italian restaurant with outdoor seating nearby and text it to Luca.
Find it real quick. Send it to the cart. The place is sick.
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
7.5 at the back.
Look at them, unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
A
right.
3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
And here's where we make sparkling ice caffeine.
So many cans.
Not just cans. Yes, you cans.
Yes, you cans?
As in, yes, you can enjoy sparkling ice with a boost of caffeine. Or yes, you can overcome that afternoon slump.
Wow. Is there anything yes, you cans can't do?
Well, yes, you cans are just cans. But with sparkling ice caffeine, you can.
I'm the can.
The yes, you can was inside you all along. Sparkling ice caffeine. Anything but subtle.
red goal scored by number 1, Michael Long. Assisted by number 15, CJ Kirst. Long from Kirst. escorted by number 27, Hugh Kelleher, unassisted.
On the face-off advantage for Cornell.
And Cornell is going to come right back with the first unit.
Kirsten and Kelleher can't quite get on the same page
And actually,
on the hidden ball trick.
Now that I think about it, it was Kelleher just came out the backside. The other two middies were second line guys, I think.
Now, Firth and Dalton
Were
were
they?
on, yes. But now it's Willem Firth who has the short stick matchup once again, who will initiate it himself. Michael Kelly is the short stick battling against Firth. 3-goal run for Cornell, make it 4.
And a good look there. Cornell has created opportunities on the backside, and that was Dalton converting on the nice pass from Firth. He comes down the alley, and the defense shows and got caught ball watching a little bit there. That was Mueller for Princeton, just got caught watching the ball, and Cornell gets this out to their largest lead of the game.
And it's going to force Matt Madelon to call a timeout. Cornell, again, its largest lead of the game is 6. And the number 6 team in the nation holds a big advantage over the number 2 team in the nation right here at Chokoff Field.
I am Polestar 3. I am pure electric performance. From the straightaways to the hairpin turns, I am designed to be driven. The drive of tomorrow. I am Polestar 3. View offers at polestar.com.
Today, I choose us how to screen us for colon cancer. Here, on my land, not theirs. Give me Cologuard or give
Excuse me? We can do that for you.
What, no battle?
Nope. Just a prescription.
Victory!
Cologuard is an effective and non-invasive colon cancer screening test. False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy. Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege, hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
7.5 at the back.
Look at them,
7.5 at the
unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
A
right.
3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
Cornell has scored the first 4 goals of the quarter to make it a 4-goal run for the Big Red. It's its largest lead of the game. And even though Princeton keeps on switching between man defense, zone defense, the Big Red have had an answer for it every single time.
I feel like it almost got Cornell into a rhythm offensively. There were some drop balls early in the first half, but they seem much more dialed in here in the second.
And Jack Cascadon wins another faceoff. He wants to go to goal, and his stick was checked from behind. Goldstein there first on
Still
the
a
backup.
shot, though, so Cornell will maintain possession. It's a good opportunity. That's the type of shot I want to see him taking, coming right down the middle.
And you talk about...
Good heads-up play by Princeton to trail check it.
Well, you talk about also keeping care of the ball. The turnover battle is right now favoring Cornell, but it's only 9 turnovers for Princeton, 7 for Cornell. That's an impressive number for the Big Red. Only 7 turnovers today. They're making Ryan Croddick work, and while he doesn't have 24 saves like last week, he still has 14. Princeton's back in man-to-man defense with Hugh Kelleher working against Friedman, the pole.
And I think Kelleher wanted to run through that check there, but I think he knows he can run a little bit of time here. Why force it?
Jackson Green is covering Willem Firth. Firth!
Outside.
Another one of those twister shots that Willem Firth loves.
I would dodge this opportunity right here. I like this matchup against Bath for long.
It's Hunter Spiess, actually, the long pole as well. 10 seconds left. Cornell is changing.
Looks like they're just going to throw it in the corner again.
Being patient and making sure they don't. They're just making sure also like they're getting the shot that they want. And this is something that Coach Busek has often harped on as well, is not settling for every opportunity and just waiting for the right shot. And also about being aware of the tempo and the game flow of the game right now.
The other thing that type of throw it in the corner does for you is it lets you, not give up the odd man rush, but it also lets you get your personnel on. It lets you set up your ride. Don't give them, quote unquote, an easy goal at the other end.
Mackesy tried to skip pass. It was deflected on the way in. Charlie Box with the stick in the lane. Michael Bozzi with the clear. What a play from Charlie Box to deny Mackesy.
Yeah, good job. The sticks in the passing lane. And now Cornell,
once again,
happy to just be patient.
6-goal lead. They're happy to bleed time off the clock right now as we approach 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
I know, but you got to stay aggressive. You got to keep going. I think here, second midfield group, maybe you run a little bit of clock, but you got to still try and go to the goal. If you can get one or two more, salt this away.
Long will use the pick from Sheehan. Kirst against Molshine. CJ Kirst using his physicality to back down Molshine like a player in the post. Long with a slip. Takes his shot wide right. Goldstein's first there on the back.
18 to shoot. So now let's see if they do this again. They're going to get the pull on. Yeah, they're doing. Wow, this is really surprising that they're. I understand when it's very short time, but here, just deciding we're going to run some clock.
The entire second midfield has rotated off already for Cornell, and again.
And you notice it's the same thing.
Goldstein just tossing that ball essentially into the bleachers at Chokoff.
Someone's going to get a souvenir today. Oh, ran right over him.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give got to give some hands as well to the Ithaca faithful. This is a great crowd here at Chokoff Field.
Well, it's so much easier when it's not, 25 degrees.
You imagine some of them are going to go to Lino Rink in a couple of hours to watch the Ithaca Regional Final. As this shot off the bar.
I think he got his piece of that with his stick. We talked about wanting to get that fourth quarter save from Nust. Yeah. There was the one, I think, on Mackesy earlier.
Ironically, that doesn't do Princeton any favors because the shot clock was at 80. Dunphy pushes that shot wide left. The shot clock was at 80 when that ball was saved. So now it went to 60. Essentially took 20 seconds off Princeton's shot clock.
Well, I think they know they got to go quick, so it really probably doesn't matter in the long term. Cornell rotating here. Oh,
Kabiri. No.
Didn't get through. Did not get through.
How about Jumpy? Shot high.
What do we got? I wonder if they're saying there was a shot clock reset that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, because
there's 55 on the shot clock right now. So, yeah, I think they're gonna
reset the shot clock to something lower.
Set it to something. I don't know what to, but I don't think there was supposed to be a reset there.
That was most likely on the Kabiri shot that was deflected on the way in.
Yeah, I think you're right. It hit someone. I don't know if it was Gil Martin that got hit with it, but it clearly didn't make it through.
It'll be Cameron to restart on the invert against Bartolotto when the shot clock is to the officials' liking. 4:12 left to go. A 6-goal lead for Cornell. Yeah, and Wyatt Nust also making his 9th save of the game. Dooley's
like, I'm not going to let you guys talk. I'm going to get in here and see what's going on. The referee spreads them out. Now it's 33 on the shot clock here.
As Palumbo and Cameron tried to talk tactics, but Dooley and Bartolotto joining in as an interested third party. Cameron misses the cage.
And you can see Princeton going quickly to the goal now. They know they've got to.
Time is not on their side.
Right, they got to get goals quickly.
Approaching 4 minutes to go. It's a 6-goal lead for Cornell. McAsee got free and what? Whoa, Wyatt Nust.
Just a kick save and a beauty.
Does reset the shot clock, so Princeton will have another opportunity. But boy, Wyatt Nust, what a time to pick up your 10th save of the afternoon. McAsee once again got free.
Blocked.
And Singer, I think, just got his pole in there in time.
What? Looks like we got a timeout by Cornell, I would bet.
Yes, it is a Cornell
right
timeout.
there, I think this is the opportunity where you say, this has been a long possession, so we got 2 timeouts left. Let's, maybe put a different midfield defensive group out there just to be as fresh as possible. I like the use of that. With only 3:40 left in this game, you hadn't called the timeout yet in the half, so go ahead and still have one if you need it, if you're trying to run out clock at the other end.
And there's no easy games in the Ivy League. Let's take a look at Cornell's upcoming schedule. They go to Yale next week before coming right back here to take on the Penn Quakers, one of the best defenses in the nation in Ivy League play coming up.
Yeah, and what ends up happening for Cornell is that the top of the early part of their Ivy schedule is the 3 teams that joined them here in Ithaca last May for the Ivy League tournament, and were expected to be, I believe Yale was picked 3rd in the preseason poll. They got off to an incredibly slow start. And then Penn, a physically tough team, is going to be coming to Sholkoff Field on the 29th.
That Yale team right now is losing 9-5 to Harvard in Boston right now. As we take a look on the other side to Princeton, their upcoming schedule, they'll take on the Harvard Crimson in their next game and then travel to Dartmouth before they take their quote-unquote easy part of the schedule, taking on Lehigh and then Vermont.
Well, I mean, their early part of their schedule with Penn State, Duke, and North Carolina, that's a way to start your season. And Maryland, by the way.
Throw in Maryland.
So that's a tough start to their schedule. They've been able to, get off to a good start, to get 2 away wins down in North Carolina. That's a great weekend.
The 2 other ranked-on-ranked matchups right now today. In the fourth quarter, Duke holds a slim 1-goal lead over Richmond. And later this afternoon at 4 o'clock, number 1 Maryland takes on number 18 Virginia. As this shot goes wide left.
Box fell down there, and the opportunity, Bonanno taking to go to the cage, but the shot went well wide.
You can see both teams rotated their midfielders. Well, this gives Princeton an opportunity to get Tucker Wade back on the field. 2 goals already for number 19 in black. Bonanno. Here is Wade dancing around Eddie Rahill. Lost him around the cage. Tucker Wade, another kick save from Wyatt Nust. And a beauty.
If you redirect here to get the ball out, Cornell could have maybe run it, but I think they just said, let's be safe here.
And they'll get the clear as well over.
Now it will be interesting to see how aggressive Princeton gets here.
Croddick hasn't left his cage yet either to start a ride.
So now, to me, this is where you do run clock. If you got a 6-goal lead, 2.5 to go, just play it smart. Not even sending a double yet.
Matt Madelon, Jeremy Hirsch, the defensive coordinator for Princeton, not deciding to start any kind of ride. And this is giving Cornell opportunity to bleed more clock, especially with some nice stick skills from Hugh Kelleher.
Looks like they're trying to send the double now.
Croddick hasn't left his cage. He'll stay in there, and now he does. 10-man ride was going to start, but Croddick, seeing Goldstein had a free run, has to back into his crease. Now he comes out of cage again. 10-man for Princeton. And Goldstein, with the clock winding down, will give another souvenir to the fans at Sholkoff.
Well, I tell you, I think you're the one who jinxed this because you said how few turnovers Cornell's had. Those all count as turnovers now. So that turnover total, I think, is going to be a little deceptive when we get to the end of this contest.
It's still 10-10 in favor of in terms of the turnovers.
But I think that's the 3rd one that Cornell's thrown away like that?
Yes. Barnes was on the doorstep, and sticks were in the lane. Dooley and Singer are right there to meet him on the crease.
This will be Princeton's ball. Goes off of Gilmartin. Got to give Cornell a lot of credit. That was a bitter loss last week against Penn State. And, they clearly put in the work this week, to make sure that they defended their home.
I mean, it's still Sean Cameron this time who will pick up a goal. So it's only a 5-goal lead now for Cornell as Sean Cameron gets on the score sheet for his 5th goal.
That stops the run at 4 for Cornell.
But up until that point, especially in the 4th quarter, you got to give a lot of credit to the face-off department and the offense, as the ball really hadn't been on the Princeton offensive end of the field up until perhaps the second part of the 4th quarter. It's been an impressive Cornell showing here. Yes, with 1 minute left, it is a 5-goal Cornell lead. As Cascadin gets a little bit tripped up, McMeekin will win a faceoff. As the faceoff battle now is 17-12. A great day for Jack Cascadin and Michael Melkonian. Mackesy trying to find a skip pass, and this shot is over the bar.
He got a piece of that. Wyatt Nuss got a piece of that, so there's a reset.
So now the shot clock doesn't matter with under a minute to go.
Yeah, the proverbial the shot clock is off, but they keep them on.
Another save for Wyatt Nuss. Oh, boy, you said Wyatt Nuss needed to come up with a couple of saves. He's got 12 now in this game. And over and back is called on Princeton, and that should about do it.
You see, let's just see how aggressive Princeton decides to be, or they just sort of sit back a little bit and know this contest is over.
It will still be a ride as Craddock comes
They're
out of the cage.
The goalie, red dog situation. And Cornell will use that last timeout.
You saw Carter Busek was all the way in the corner to call that final timeout.
He's got to make sure he's in shape too, right? Gets down there.
Well, he's not playing in the PLL anymore, Connor Busek.
Something tells me he still gets his workout in.
Yeah. I bet there are some days in Cornell practice where Connor Busek puts on that helmet once again and shows why he was such a successful player, a 3-time All-American here at Cornell.
Yeah, I mean, he did a really great job of, his freshman year was a little tough, and then he got the opportunity. So here's where, Princeton's upcoming schedule. They've got Harvard and Dartmouth the next couple. So they're, get their first 3, but then they move sort of on out of the league. A common opponent here, Lehigh, the Mountain Hawks, who are taking on Army today. Haven't had an updated score from there in a little bit, but looks like Army is up 13-4 final. So the Lehigh will take on Princeton, and then they'll take on UVM. So Cornell will move to 1-0 on the year in the Ivy League, get an important high-level win for their resume for the NCAA tournament.
And again, both of these teams taking on 2 teams that are playing each other right now next week. Princeton will take on Harvard, and Cornell will take on Yale. Harvard currently leads Yale 9-6 with 5:39 left to go in the second quarter.
This will be Cornell's 5th consecutive victory against Princeton. And the last time Princeton won a regular season Ivy League contest against the Big Red was 2018. It's an Ivy League tournament win in there between now and then.
And as you said, this is a huge boost to Cornell's resume as well, taking down the number 2 team in the country. With how last season ended, you need all these type of wins you can get with the Ivy League only getting 1 team into the NCAA tournament next year.
Just going to run this out here. And Cornell, this is a big confidence builder, I think. This is really going to set them in. We talked about how the beginning of the season, you're kind of feeling your way. You get to that middle third, which is Cornell is right in the middle of, right post spring break, and then that final push at the end. So a big win for the Big Red on Sholkoff Field today.
15-10, your final score, as Cornell, the number 6 team in the nation, takes down the number 2 team in the nation, the Princeton Tigers. And it is a huge resume-boosting win for the Cornell Big Red, avenging the loss last week against the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Just a real balanced effort from Cornell offensively. The face-off game came through. We mentioned Wyatt Nuss making the plays in the 4th quarter. Just a really nice team win for the Big Red today. C.J. Kearse showed up and really had a strong performance with 5 goals and 2 assists. So a really good win for the Big Red today.
7-point performance for C.J. Kearse, now the all-time leading goal scorer in Cornell Big Red history with 193 goals. CJ Kurst leads the way for the Cornell Big Red to an upset victory over the Princeton Tigers. But alongside Tom LaFalce and our director Connor Lang, I'm Christian de Guzman saying so long here from Shokoff Field, where your final score is number 6 Cornell 15, number 2 Princeton 10. All games aired on the ESPN networks are archived and can be viewed on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.